No, I wrote down a list of everything that I would possibly want in a man. If I gave it to my brother, he'd be like, half of that is unrealistic. In my mind, the high value man is a unicorn because
what's the unrealistic part?
I would like a man that's got to be like 6'1", 6'3", single, no kids, never married, makes over 6 figures. You know,
that is the unrealistic part.
Which part? She named
over 6 figures because that right there is what would shrink her pool.
So you have to like figure out what your non-negotiables are and what are things that you can like.
A lot of times women will want everything. It's unrealistic bars. It's unrealistic, bro. Like, because a lot what you're describing is you want the man to understand you how a woman would understand you because a woman feels the same way you feel. It just doesn't work. It don't work, bro. Men and women are different. We operate different, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't force a man to think like a woman. It ain't gonna work. And guess what? More than likely, if you do run into a guy that is like a woman, you're not gonna like him, bruv.
Men are fed up with women's endless demands and impossible standards. If you're not driving the latest Tesla or raking in the cash, forget about it. These women will cheat on you in a heartbeat, even if you give them everything they want. And approaching them? You might as well be talking to a brick wall. They can't hold a conversation to save their lives. The irony is these same women complain about men not meeting their expectations. Double standards much?
Man, I am all for having preferences. Ladies, go ahead. If a guy's got his shit together, he's not going to be offended by your preferences. I feel that. But I'm just telling you, if the shoe is on the other foot, I think that dude would be getting canceled.
If a woman dares to approach a man, she better be ready for rejection. Don't be surprised if he lies about having a girlfriend just to get rid of her. After one rejection, they're out. Meanwhile, men have to jump through hoops just to get their attention. Women criticize men for the same behavior they exhibit. They'll make excuses for their own actions, but won't extend the same courtesy to men. Classic.
Unrealistic expectations. She has this expectation to date an athlete, a musician, or whatever the heck it was, and she's on OnlyFans. You attract what you are, and I think sometimes people have a very unrealistic idea and lack of self-awareness of what they actually bring to something. Just because you're cute does not mean that you deserve to be with an NFL player.
Men are expected to be entertaining and charming, but when the roles are reversed, women couldn't care less about making an effort. No wonder men are turning to the MGTOW ideology. Who can blame them? Why do guys even bother putting in so much effort for so long? It's because it's just not easy. Coming up with interesting conversations out of thin air? Yeah, that's a tough one. But hey, men have to do it because women won't. While men are left dealing with the fallout, women just move on and reject the next guy who comes along. When we talk about men not approaching women anymore, it's not just one thing. It's a whole cocktail of reasons, all stemming from the messed up dynamics between men and women today. Let's face it, the dating game has changed. Men used to chase women and make fools of themselves, but deep down, did they even want to be with them? Back in the day, before social media and smartphones, getting in touch with a woman was a mission. You had to physically approach her to show you were interested. You had to dress the part, follow social norms, and even get the girl's parents' approval before asking her out. But now, with the click of a button, you can chat up anyone, anytime, anywhere. It used to be hard work. You had to plan everything meticulously. But nowadays, it's a whole different ballgame. Back in the day, dating took effort. You had to plan everything yourself, which made it exciting. Without the option of checking someone out on social media, you had to rely on the image of the person you liked in your head. That's what drove guys to approach women face to face and ask them out.
I saw a video the other day. A girl's like, men are afraid to come up to us. They're not afraid to come up to you. I mean, maybe some feel a little insecure, but by and large, they're just like, I don't need this aggravation today. I don't need some diva aggravation today because more often than not, what do? Nasty, like a little attitude, puckered lips. You know the pucker look. They're tired. They're tired. They're tired of getting made fun of. They're tired of being, abused. They're tired of getting, oh, I'm a meme now. Because why? Because I looked your way for 2 seconds in the gym?
People used to date within their circles because distance was a real issue. Today you can chat with anyone, anywhere, anytime. But this convenience has killed the authenticity of dating. So why aren't men approaching women anymore? Because men aren't stupid. They weigh the pros and cons, and these days the cons far outweigh the pros. Approaching women is a one-way ticket to humiliation, being labeled as a creep, or just getting ignored and socially rejected. Unless you're some superstar, most men are seen as predators or desperate losers. The risks of embarrassment, rejection, and being ignored are just too high for any sane man to take the chance. Even if a guy approaches a woman respectfully, she might still make him a laughingstock. I saw a video where a guy tried to start a conversation politely, and she turned it into a joke on social media for laughs and attention. No wonder men are hesitant to approach women these days. Different women react differently, making the whole thing a gamble with horrible odds. Think about how you react when a homeless person approaches you. You probably go on the defensive and avoid them. Women do the same, valuing social status and image above all else. Even though women's lives are better today than a century ago, they still act like they need to be on guard, fearing being taken advantage of by men. The problem is, modern women don't value average guys or men in general anymore. They publicly humiliate men for simply approaching them in a public place. Do you think a woman would treat Mark Zuckerberg the same way she treats average men? Of course not. Zuckerberg, being a billionaire with influence, wouldn't be subjected to such treatment. This highlights how a man's status and perceived worth greatly influence how he's treated by women. A woman's treatment of men varies based on her perception of them. If she doesn't see a man as better than her, she treats him like trash. She'll only treat a man with respect if she perceives him as superior. Just look at how she treats her boss versus a subordinate. Who do you think she respects more? Modern women have lost all respect for men, and most men have noticed this and decided not to engage. Men have chosen to avoid actions that might lead to being disrespected or belittled. They've seen the decline in how women treat men and decided to prioritize their own integrity and respect. Frankly, I'd rather steer clear of women myself. I've heard stories of women harassing men and then calling the cops simply because the men weren't as attractive or wealthy. Why subject myself or anyone else to that kind of treatment? It doesn't make sense. A lot of women just aren't worth pursuing anymore. They seek validation from men in public to boost their egos and humiliate the men around them. Given these circumstances, can you even approach modern women? It seems highly unlikely. Men are waking up and realizing they shouldn't waste their time on women who aren't worth it. Unfortunately, many women don't get how unfair the dating game has become for men. So, what are your thoughts? Should men still bother approaching women? And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.